Hey, how you all going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with Crannk again, and tonight I'm having a chat with Dan guitarist vocalist for Flatus out of the WA, who recently released their global Development Decay album on May 9th through Grindhead Records. Dan, cheers for making some time to have a chat with me, buddy.
Very welcome. Nice to meet you, mate.
Yeah, you too, man. Likewise. I've been enjoying your last couple of albums and that. I've fucking had a bit of a dive into it. I'm a mad Carcass fan as well, so I'm really loving the vibes you boys are throwing down. But for the uninitiated, man, do you mind just quickly telling us about who you guys are?
Okay, well, yeah, we're a three-piece band. We play sort of, I guess, heavy metal music. It's sort of just a bit of a melting pot of all of our different influences. I mean, it started as a Carcass tribute band, which was kind of my idea. There was a festival that was here in Perth, and I asked my friend if we could play at it, if I got a Carcass tribute act together, if we could have a slot on it, and he said yes. So we managed to get a set together. We only played stuff off the first two Carcass albums. Tried to play stuff that Carcass themselves don't really play much in their set. The sort of Ruka Putrefaction type stuff. Yeah, and I mean that went really well. It was really fun. It's on YouTube. Someone filmed it. It's on YouTube, so if anyone wants to watch it, it's pretty old now. It's from 2012, so it's kind of old.
Killer, I'm gonna have to have a look for that, dude, because I'm a mad Carcass fan, dude. I've got fucking a whole heap of their albums, dude. Symphonies of Sickness, Reeks of Putrefaction, Swan Song, man, Heartwork, Surgical Steel. Like, I'm a mad Carcass fan, dude. So when did you how did you first get into Carcass, dude?
Oh, well, I think the first album that I bought was Necroticism when in '92 there was this record shop, and they used to have just this really big metal section, and I was in like year 9, and I just saw Necroticism, and it had just come out, and the cover was it blew my mind, and I kind of thought, I'm going to buy this. I bought it, and it started a problem for me. I became fucking obsessed with Carcass. I love them. So everything they release, I'm down. I want to hear it.
Yeah, dude. No, I was the same, man. Heartwork. I kind of got that Heartwork album. That was kind of my first kind of little taste into Carcass, and I dive into the back catalogue and the Swan Song album, man. I fucking love that album, man. That just had that. That was a bit catchier, man. Had a bit more of those dun 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 Black Star. That dude was just. Yeah.
I don't know.
I cranked that so much.
The band that they formed afterwards, called Black Star. If you ever heard that, it's really good. It doesn't have Bill Steer on guitars. It's got Griff from Cathedral, and it's got Carlo, who was the other guitar player on Swan Song. It's a really, really good album. It sort of continues in Swan Song style. It's a bit more rock even, but fuck, it's really good. Ken Owen's drumming is spot on it. It's probably, I would say it's some of his best drumming. It's not even Carcass. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great to see when these bands keep going and evolve and fucking slightly change their sound and just keep fucking hammering out great music, dude. You kind of got to keep right on it, because there's just so many quality fucking bands out there, eh?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So how did you go from this this Carcass cover act to going, man, I've got some tunes I really want to crank out here?
Well, I think I like to write my own music as well.
Yep.
The guys that they got the lineup of the first sort of formation of Flatus was the drummer was my friend John, who I've known for a really long time. Like, we used to live together at one point in a share house, and we've had little music projects together before. So I asked him, and the funny thing about this band is he's the drummer, but he's more a guitarist than a drummer, really, and I'm more of a drummer than a guitarist. Like, I don't really call myself a guitar player. I play drums, so it's a bit of a funny upside down band for us. Like, we're kind of playing outside of our comfort zones, I would say. I'm always telling him what I would kind of like to hear on the drums, and he's kind of, sometimes it's early stage was a drummer, but he used to, he can play a lot of different stuff, but there were certain, he'd be like, oh, what's this? Like this kind of, I'll hear a certain beat to go with a certain, and what to do. And he gets into that weird realm of people in the band telling each other what to do. But I'll let him do what he wants, really. Like if he has a good beat idea, he can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you're a drummer first. So you learnt the drums first and kind of evolved into the guitar, right?
When did you started playing? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you go. That was my question. When did you start? Wait up, Danny. We might have to hold on, man. Wait till this guy comes back, bro. I'll have fun editing this.
Yeah, no problem.
There we go. So when did you get?
Yeah, I started playing drums in 1989, and my brother, I have a younger brother. I sort of chose to play drums, and he chose to play the guitar, and I used to kind of like pinch his guitar off him and to try and play it. And eventually, I had to buy my own because it was just sort of like, I couldn't keep playing his guitar all the time. So I bought one around, would have been about 1993. I think I bought my first guitar, and yeah, I mean, I've been playing a long time, but for someone who's been playing for such a long time, I'm not very good, I'm sort of like, I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. I have no training.
It sounds pretty good, man. Like I was really enjoying the heck out of Global Development Decay and the Humane Garbage, Misery Guts, right in Decay, dude. It's a really cool album, dude. Do you mind just kind of walking me through a little bit about how you the songwriting and the song structure, how you kind of worked all this album?
Okay. Well, like some of it was demoed, which I wrote that album. I wrote everything on it, so I'd demo stuff up on the drums because I'd hear certain drum beats. There was a demo for demo for that one too. And I don't know, I mean, the arrangements, just half of them probably came out through rehearsing, where I'd go to band practice and say, I'd have a bit of an idea they would fit together, or how everyone is pretty much on the same page as how long things should go for, or you get that sort of feeling of, this section is about the right length, or this section is getting boring, or that sort of feel. That John and I sort of, sort of quick agreements on stuff. I think because we all listen to the same sort of music in general, we have a pretty similar opinion about how song structures should go. And I think our songs are pretty, for heavy metal or death metal, they're a pretty pop structure. And they don't really often have choruses or anything, but they're pretty simple songs, really. There's nothing that obtuse about them. They're just kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, just blocks put together, like Lego.
Yeah, it comes out well, dude. Wait up 1 second. So
how did Flatus evolve from being playing the Carcass material into your own stuff there?
Okay, well, we played the Carcass songs, and we sort of, I had some riff ideas, and I just like playing music with those guys anyway. So I just sort of said to you, do you want to keep going? And obviously there's no point just rehashing the Carcass set list over and over. It was a kind of a one-off. You can only really do it, once or twice. And so, just started writing some songs. And the first one we did, I mean, there were 2 original songs. We did a little EP that had 2 Carcass songs on it, and it had 2 songs that were sort of heavily influenced by Carcass. They're probably the most Carcass sounding thing that we've done that wasn't a Carcass cover. But then we had fun doing it, so I said, do you want to keep going and just keep writing more music? And as it wasn't a Carcass tribute band anymore, I just let everything seep into it, whatever influences outside of Carcass, which is hundreds of things. So yeah, that's how it happened. And so we're still writing new music now, and the other guys are putting in some of their riffs and stuff now as well. So it's good. It's getting a bit more, even more sort of
more traction. And there's only so far you can go as being a cover band as well. You'd have all this material in your head as well, being a musician, and you'd be playing like as much as you love Carcass. You'd also go, man, I have this vision in my own head of what I want to bring out and what I want to get going as well. It would have been like
exactly, yeah.
The catalyst would be like, yeah, okay, this is cool. I want to go from here.
Carcass was sort of like as I said a bit earlier. I used to play my brother's guitar a lot, and I used to listen to Carcass. I still do. Listen to them heaps back then. I used to print out tabs off the internet and try and like learn the songs, and that was kind of how I learned guitar. Like just by learning Carcass songs, and they're like way above me in their level of skill level on guitar, but it taught me a lot about, I don't know, chord progressions and things like that. So it was I don't know, but nowadays I do I like to muck around on guitar and try and do like really sort of Voivod influenced chords and stuff like that. Just a lot of I'm getting a weird a pop-up there saying the internet is unstable. Just sort of lots of chords that you wouldn't hear in Carcass that are a bit more, I don't know, sort of weird bar chords with weird shapes and stuff like that, just that kind of thing. What it's
1 second, Daniel.
Yeah.
There we go. Bandwidth is back. It's like Daniel's full power bandwidth. So at the moment, we're kind of constrained to the internet. So when we get this up, we're going to have a little bit of cutting and changing, but it's really going to be fun because I've enjoyed chatting to you guys. The artwork is unreal. Everything is really cool. Can you tell us a little bit about the artwork for the Global Development Decay, and who'd you go with there?
Well, we went with me because I drew it. It's just an idea that I had for an album cover because I just thought it sounds like it's sort of themed off that kind of just about any kind of punk grind album cover from the late 80s to 90s and beyond, that sort of like oppression sort of theme of like the sort of Brutal Truth, Extreme Conditions album cover, that sort of thing. Like that's a classic for me, that album, and I just wanted to try and do something like that without fully ripping it off. I just kind of drew a picture of the guys in it's like a baby, like an adult baby, basically. It's a sort of representation of humankind today. Sit like in an adult baby with their smartphone and their junk food and their sort of TV remote and money is hanging above them and religion and all this crap, sort of like controlling their lives. And just this faceless human lying there, kind of strapped in. He can't move, and he's got all these things around him that he could kill himself if he could reach them. Like there's a pistol and a bottle of pills, and he's lying there. So it was just it was a lot of fun to draw. It took a fucking long time.
It always interests me about the artwork. It's always pretty cool. I love artwork because for me, being a metalhead and going right back, and we were talking about the early Carcass albums and the cover. For me, I'd love going into a CD store. You don't get very many of them around. The kids, there were these things we'd go into and we'd buy CDs like that killer rack you got behind you, and I'd walk in there and it'd be album art that'd get me with some of these albums, dude. I'd walk in there and go, dude, that looks fucking brutal, man. And I'd pick it up and I wouldn't have any idea. And I used to love doing that, walking into a CD store and going, man, I'm going to grab a heavy CD and not know anything about them. It was really cool for me. And a lot of it was artwork. And that's how I'd grab my albums.
Yeah, and you make a good point, because back in the days when CD shops were in their sort of prime, and aside from magazines and things like that, a lot of the time you wouldn't have heard of the album. If it was a newer band or something, the artwork is the sort of the first thing you ever see of the album. You might have heard of the band name, but you pick up an album and you see some really killer artwork on the front and you've never heard of them. It's probably the first thing that's going to make you kind of either go, oh, this looks like something I'd like, or something like this looks like something that I just couldn't be bothered with. But sometimes you can be wrong. I've been proven wrong with a few albums where artwork like total junk, and then I listen to it. So someone tells me it's really good, and I listen and I go, wow, it's really awesome album. Pity the cover looks so rubbish. But it's really like I wanted the album cover for this to be as good as I could make it myself. Like, I tried to make it interesting and like eye-catching.
Yeah, definitely. And it's got the cool pack, man. Where would be the best place if people want to get along and support you guys? Because I always chuck this in. I'll make a note of doing this because I like people to realise that to keep this scene strong and going, we need to support bands like yourself. So not just, listen to them through Streamwise, but get along, buy some merch, grab the albums, support bands to keep the scene strong. Where will we go to support Flatus, bro?
Well, you can go to Grindhead Records Bandcamp website. They sell their releases through there. And we're also selling copies through our Bandcamp website and our Facebook page as well. If you type in Flatus AU into Facebook, you'll find our page. We'll be selling them at shows as well, but obviously we don't play a lot. And also we obviously play zilch at the moment because of what's going on with the COVID stuff. Bandcamp, Grindhead Records Bandcamp or Flatus Bandcamp are the two best places to pick up a physical copy, or if you don't like CDs, you can download it on those Bandcamp pages as well. And you can also download our Carcass tribute EP that we did on our Bandcamp page. The fuck? What is that?
I done one the other day, and the guy was like, "Man, you're getting attacked by a giant bat," and I'm like, "Nah, the joys of living in the country. I'm not getting attacked by a bat, people. It's the country, man. It's the country, dude." So I'm keen to know, dude. You're a massive Carcass fan, like obviously. What would be your all-time favorite Carcass track, man? Someone's like, dude.
Whew. Right. Okay. There's probably like
pick a couple.
It's so fucking hard. I reckon.
Yeah, I know.
One song.
That's what mood you're in for me.
I'd say that like probably one of my favorite songs I just could not pick a single fault with is Symposium of Sickness of Necroticism. That song is just such a twisted nightmare of a song, like it's heaps of Ken Owens riffs in it, and it's just great. The balance of the Jeff and Bill vocals and all the weird Ken vocals and stuff. That song is just insane. And I also really, really love Hepatic Tissue Fermentation. I reckon that song is just great. Just such a weird journey of different tempos and strange Ken's drumming, Ken's weird sort of funky beats that he puts into the middle of it, and just great blasts. And that to me is like the best sort of like if that is what a Carcass song is to me, that sort of thing, that sort of balance between really full-on crazy blasting parts and then just really weird sleazy rock kind of hip-hop groove that Ken puts in, and the riffs are just great.
Some damn good choices, man.
But having said that, I love all their songs. So yeah, they're just two that I would sort of always go to. That every time they come on, I kind of get that awesome feeling of when I hear them. I go, man, this is just, you know, incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard for me to pick too, dude. But like when I first heard Carcass, my mind was blown. Like I was listening to, you know, the regular stuff you do back then. Like I was, you know, you'd have your Sepultura, your Fear Factory, your Usual Suspects. But like when I first heard Carcass, and it had that sound, dude, and like you were going, it had that rock and roll beats, and it had that death, and so it's a vibe to it, man. It just fucking blew my mind when I first heard Carcass. I was like, yes, this is it for me. So yeah,
yeah, they're such a good band.
Very cool, man.
Yeah, I could talk about.
They are, dude. I know. That's where I'm finding myself. We're just going to keep talking about Carcass here. So I'm going to come back to Flatus, dude, before we sign out here, because we've had some mad issues tonight, dude. I want to chuck in shout-outs. If you have any shout-outs, thank yous, or last words you want to chuck in here, mate, now's the time.
Oh, okay. Well, we'd like to thank Bubsy from Grindhead. He's the one that released the digi edition of our album. So yeah, thanks Bubsy. Bubsy and I have known each other for quite a long time now, since about 2003, I think we met. Shout out to John and Ben, the other two band members. If you want to listen to some stuff that those guys do, they also do other bands as well. They, if you look for Rassilon Records, RASSILON Records, Bandcamp, they sort of do some kind of like one-man band black metal projects, which are really cool. That's sort of
awesome,
lo-fi black metal kind of sort of stuff, which is pretty cool. And you know, they're pretty productive as well, especially Ben, our bass player. He's got a lot of releases with his project Celestial Shadows. It's interesting
awesome
stuff. Kind of like a bit. It's like, yeah. I don't know. Just listen to it.
Yeah. Well, what I'll do is I'll put all the links for all this as well. We'll have a chat after this, and I'll get you to send me through a whole heap of links for those things, and we'll add everything up there. Grindhead Records has some amazing albums on there, dude. They got some dope artwork for his logo there, and
I've got a little rack up there of
it's cool, man. It's really cool. It's really cool. Everything that's going on, the bands he's got on there.
Yeah, used to go into Bubsy's room, of his distro room, and come out with a like big stack of.
It's cool, man. I love being a metal explorer, and obviously you are as well. So get onto it, guys. Check out Flatus and support these bands. Get along and be a metal explorer as well. Support your scene. Cheers, Dan. We'll sign out there, bro. Thank you very much. That's it, man. Legend.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for the interview, and really appreciate the support. It's really appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.